Hello, my lovely ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Tyro Talk. This is going to be a special one because I'm actually going to talk about an update to the channel. Something I mentioned on the recent channel update, if you're putting a link on the screen here, where there's going to be a few things I'm implementing, like little themes throughout the year. But this is very special because this is going to be not just for the year, this is going to be henceforth for the life of Planet Tyro. I want to institute one particular aspect every month. And we're talking about the monthly documentary. Yes, we're going to have monthly documentaries on Planet Tyro, and I want them to be conversational. I like to be with a guest, so you can get two perspectives, not just my perspective. But if I can't get a guest, it will just be me. But documentaries can be so enlightening. I've seen so many different types of documentaries. I've seen documentaries that are just informative, very straightforward. I've seen documentaries that are very creative. I've seen documentaries that are like something like Super Size Me. It's like, is it a documentary? It's about there's different types of documentary, but they're not films. They're not like a fictional narrative. They're based on what's really going on or a situation. So there's different types, but they're all based on reality. They're informing us on a subject or a theme. So the thing is, definitely want to do documentaries every month, but we've already seen, well, me and a few others at have already seen a lot of documentaries that we're not going to touch because they're old. So I've got my iPad here. I took a note of a few of the ones I want to mention that we're not going to do unless you guys insist that we talk about these. But a lot of these are, I'm going through the ones that are very well known, like Super Size Me. Everyone's seen that, so we're not going to go over that again. And I know people might even, that's not really documentary, but if it's based on reality, that's the kind of thing we're going. So I hope you kind of understand what I mean by when we say documentary. So let me go through a list of the things here, and I'll do some jump cuts just to keep it short while I go through the list. So first of all, let's start with Michael Moore. I've seen everything done by Michael Moore, all of his documentaries. I know people are very hot and cold on him. They're very polarizing. Some people can think he's informative. Some people think he's got a super agenda. I find it more informative. Again, the thing with documentaries, let me just say for the record. I'm not one of those people who just take the word of anybody. These people do research, but I wouldn't say they have an agenda, but they're people, they're opinionated, they have reasons for their thoughts. Like, some of them do try to bring fact, but most of them are based on opinion. They can be biased, they can have bad sources. So Michael Moore, for example, it's his truth, and don't listen to him and all that, but I make up my own mind. Let me just say that, and so should you. Documentary shouldn't just, yes, that's the truth. Don't take documentaries even for truth. Do your own research. But documentaries can be very, very thought-provoking, enlightening, and educational. But I just want to say for the record, you hear people always say, oh, you watch a documentary, oh, so you're one of them guys now. You just believe what that guy says. No. I know we say Planet Tyro and here's a joke and we don't know what we're talking about, but we don't take anything for face value. I know it's a bit of a rant, but because I've been on Michael Moore, I know a lot of people be, oh, you just follow his movies and you one of them guys. Like, guys, chill, okay? We're open to all perspectives, but we make our own decisions individually. Just saying that for the record. So Michael Moore, loved his movies. Obviously, the three favorites would be Bowling for Columbine, Sicko, and I'm forgetting the other one. I didn't really like Fahrenheit 9/11, to be honest with you, but Bowling for Columbine, Sicko. I guess those are my two favorite ones from his. But when I'm going to talk about him anyway, he's very popular anyway. You guys, he's one of the most popular documentarians. So in that regard, no. Let me talk about some of the last. Let me jump to the most recent documentaries I saw. Jiri Dreams of Sushi. This is a documentary about one of the most popular sushi restaurants and the guy and the family that runs it. It was very enlightening, especially because I like Japanese culture, because of anime, manga, and stuff like that. It was very, it was a very cold documentary because the guy has a very rigid way of working, and it was very enlightening, and I respect the guy, but man, I felt cold after watching this documentary. But it is awesome, and I'm not even a big sushi guy, but this is a cool documentary for that. And again, it's seen a perspective I never thought I'd see before. It was very interesting. Another documentary I saw recently, or about a year or two ago, was West of Memphis. This was just a very heartbreaking story about these kids that were accused of murder, and it's just a really heartbreaking tale of the law. I think I'm not going to go into. I'm not going to review the whole thing. It's about these people that were condemned for murdering this kid or something, and for years they've been sitting in prison. But it was kind of not a mistake, but they were railroaded. These kids were railroaded, and the real killer is out there. And it's a crazy story about injustice and how there was a whole cry for it. We tried to get the people free. I don't want to ruin it, but this was one of the best documentaries I've seen about life, about the law, about crime, about murder. It really happened. It's really terrible. And these kids, man, boy, it was one of them things you thought it was one thing and turned out to be another one. So West of Memphis, there's been a lot of documentaries about these kids, this case. This is the final one. This is the one everyone recommends, and so do I. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, this is really something special. A lot of people love it. And to be honest with you, I don't like rating documentaries, but I would give that a first class. But let's move on. So another one I watched recently, and this is the last documentary I think I saw, was The Invisible War. And this is about rape in the military, or in the Marines, or I can't remember what faction it's in, but it was about rape and about people that have been raped and abused in the military, and how it goes unnoticed in the military, and the people that were affected. I think it wasn't just women, it was men as well. So this is again very enlightening, again very touchy subject, but I thought it was very cool, and it's hard for me to say very cool. I just thought it was really well done, and it's something I really respected. If I wanted to speak about the two documentaries that had a really profound effect on me, one of them would be the Zeitgeist trilogy. Now, I'm actually going to do a video about this in particular, because this is something that's really, really, really important to me. And I think me and my buddy Catface are going to talk about the Zeitgeist trilogy, so I'm going to put that to a side. The second one I'm going to talk about is a documentary called Letters to Zachary. I mean, this movie really is one of the most awful things I've ever seen in my life. And I can't even know I'm being completely serious. This is one of the most haunting, devastating stories I've ever heard in my life. And I never felt as horrible after watching this movie. I even had less, and they tried to end this movie on a positive note, but I lost my faith in humanity a bit on this one, man. It's one of the most horrible things I've ever seen in my life. And if I told you what the movie was about, I'm never going to spoil this movie for you, because it's the kind of movie, if you show people, they probably will not want to speak to you for a while. And just a brief synopsis, it's about a man who dies, and he's writing a letter to his son, a video letter. That's initially what you think it's about, but by the end it turns out to be about something else. Very disturbing. I don't know what to say. I don't want to spoil it, but I just want to say it's not. I know I'm being very vague, but it is basically about a filmmaker making a movie to his son and what happened to him and his family and some crazy shit with the law in America. One of the movies that made me feel like I'm glad I don't live in America. And I know that's a fucked up thing. I don't know my buddy Catface won't like me saying that, but it's got to do with guns and stuff. So I love the movie because it's one of the most important movies in a certain way, but be warned, this will really rock you, man. This one, some people, I can't even get people to watch this, and if you've watched this, if you check reviews for this, you're gonna see it's affected people monumentally. But guys, just caution before you watch this movie. That's exactly, very big caution, but I love the movie anyway. Let me just say that it's affected me profoundly. Let me leave it at that. Okay, back on a more uplifting note, let me talk about some documentaries that are so weird. The subject matter is very weird, but I found them extremely entertaining. One of them was recommended by Uncle Martin Thomas from doubletoastschool.com, was Hands on a Hard Body, about these guys that won this competition that, very simple competition. They made into a documentary. In America, they have this, I don't know if they still do it, this competition where there's this car dealer that has, if you put your hands on the car, basically Whoever can keep their hands on the car the longest wins the car. So basically, you come there on a Saturday and you stand there. I think they do give breaks, but you could be there for like a whole week. Put your hand on the car, and it's a crazy competition. But it's a lot of fun. But it's just fun to see these people just stand, put their hand right on the car for days just to win this car. And it's really cool. It's fun. It sounds weird, but it was a fun documentary. Another one that is phenomenal is Exit Through the Gift Shop. Exit Through the Gift Shop is one of the most meta, funnest documentaries. It's about Banksy, that famous artist who does, nobody knows who he is, or even if it's one person or group of people, and you think it's a documentary about someone following Banksy, but it turns into something else. So awesome. This was one of the best documentaries I've ever seen because it turned into something else. And Banksy narrates, he actually created a documentary himself. And you think, what? It's very meta, very cool, fucking awesome. I highly recommend Exit Through the Gift Shop. Highly recommend Exit Through the Gift Shop. And obviously another one that we're not going to talk about is King of Kong. King of Kong is, people love this documentary. I can tell why. This is phenomenal. Another phenomenal documentary about, I think it's about the American world champions or the world champions of Donkey Kong. And it sounds so simple, but seeing these guys, even turn into like a villain hero story about these guys, you would never think this would be interesting. But King of Kong is excellent, fantastic documentary. Just watch that as well. Really fun. I know you might think you're not interested in computer games, but this is really cool. So as a game, I loved it, but even as a person, this has got high praise. One of the best. Check it out. Another one, very fun, very awesome. Freakonomics. My buddy Mampers. I watched this. Mampers was a big proponent for the podcast, which Freakonomics have their own podcast as well. But if you watch this movie, Freakonomics is a very good thing about life, about a lot of the life hacking things about life, how to make life better, a lot of the things behind the scenes of life. It's a very general documentary about all these little twists about the economics and life, money, power, sex. This is a very interesting documentary, very varied. If you watch the first 10 minutes of this, you'll know if you like it. It's just a lot of fun, very educational, very informative. And I'm looking forward to I'm gonna cut it short. We've seen a lot more documentaries. These were just a few of the recent, the fun, the ones that affected me profoundly over the years. But let me talk about some of the documentaries I'm going to be speaking about, maybe by the end of the year, maybe next year. But two ones I'm going to speak about is the Amy Winehouse one, Amy. I was never the biggest super fan of Amy Winehouse. I think she's a good artist, of course, she had a tragic life, but this was apparently a really good documentary that I'm going to see and we're going to talk about. So that's coming up as well. And one I'm looking forward to the most is the one about Scientology, Going Clear. This is based off a book, and apparently this is one of the best documentaries of 2015. So I'm really looking forward to watching that and talking about it. But that's it, guys. So I just wanted to give you an idea of what we're going to do this month with, some of the things done before. But I will say we will be taking recommendations for documentaries, but just like with recommendations for reviews we're going to do next year as well, we're going to be sifting through them. We're not just going to take anything you say. We're going to do our own research because it has to be interesting. I think documentaries can be informative, entertaining, and captivating. I think you can do these three things about any subject because I've been engrossed by so many documentaries about so many things I never thought I would even like. You can make it entertaining, you can make it boring, and there's so many documentaries. It doesn't matter if it's high production or if it was Michael Moore, if it was independent, if it was a YouTube or a Kickstarter, doesn't matter. If it's interesting, suggest it, we'll take a look at it, and if you review it because you recommend, you'll get the credit, believe me. But we're looking forward to this. I'm so looking forward to doing these documentaries because, Planet Tyro is all about discovering new media, discovering new topics, and bettering ourselves, as we said, on and on and on. And this is the perfect thing that I wanted to do for such a long time. And guys, let me know your thoughts on this in the description down below. If you think it's a good idea, let us know. If you think it's a bad idea, let us know why you think it's a bad idea. But to be honest with you, I think most of you are going to enjoy this. So let me leave it at that, guys. So again, leave your recommendation for any documentaries. If you've seen it, we'll have a conversation about it in the comments below. I'll tell you if I've seen it, what I think about it. But again, some of these ones, there's been a lot we've seen. So we'll let you know in the comments down below. But either way, guys, thanks for watching. You get the gist of it. And hit that subscribe button if you like more content. If you're looking forward to the documentaries, we do appreciate it. Like the video if you like it. And I'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care. Peace.